Hello YouTube, today I'm going to do a review of the new Veloset wireless GPS cycle computer, the MG-600. It's just currently arrived, so I'm going to unbox it and see how it looks. It's packaged quite nicely in this bubble wrap, so I doubt it will get damaged. And here is the box it comes in, quite small. Then of course it is quite a small product for using on a bike. So yeah, nice small box and looks quite good. So let's get into this then. And there is the unit itself, with some clear film on the front to keep it safe during transport, I would imagine, and generally. So here it is. It looks very nice. It's quite a nice solid feel. Got nice silicone rubber around the edge, I presume to keep it waterproof, because it is said to be very waterproof. And nice solid construction. It's got a little hole there to put a lanyard in if you want to carry it around if you're running or something, I presume. Right, let's see what else we get in the box. We have some sort of the USB charger on the mains. It's very nice. Everything's USB these days, so it's always nice to have a adapter for the mains. We have a mounting kit, so to put on your bike there, and I believe these two just clip together so you can put it either way round. If you see, this goes only one way round on this section here. Will go on one side on the bike, but you can then mount it vertically or horizontally if you're putting it on, depending on which part of the bike you're putting it on, either on the stem and the handlebar or the actual handlebar itself. And we also have the mini disc here with the user guide software, which would be very useful because you can export all the information from it, I believe, to a application and Google Earth, so you can see all your tracks and things. And lastly, we have a charging or data cable, I presume, which looks quite well made. And so that's it. That's everything in the box. I'm now going to have a look at it and get the instructions out from the disc and do a good review of the product. Right then, so this is the CD or the mini disc. I've already loaded it on my computer. You'll see here that we have a range of files in the disc itself if you just open it. I've just been exploring the disc. What you want to do is open this application here, which is the executable application Veloset GPS-600, which has actually been designed by them, I believe, which then will open an application here, you see, which has various options, as you can read there, for the software you need to install, such as Google Earth and their software. Has inside this piece of software, it has the manual itself, some product videos of the Veloset cycle computer itself, and also has some information on the company. Just to start off with, I'm not sure if this is a slight problem with the communication, but I do notice that it says on here the battery life is 850 milliamp hours, 4 megabytes, and that's fine. That's fine, but you do notice that it says here 230. But then if you then load up the manual, it's something else. So I think that could be improved slightly. I don't know why that is. It's obviously just a communication problem when it was being designed, but something to look at, because it also says, I don't know if you can see very well, 32 megabytes here and a few different figures rolling around. But anyway, very good software here they've designed. You can easily install and review all the information you need to know about the product, which is very useful. I've currently got it charging here, plugged into the AC adapter for the wall. You can see it's charging symbol there. Apparently it should take about 3 hours to charge, which sounds good. At this stage, all I can suggest is to make sure you get onto this application, which I'm surprised they've made actually, but it's very easy to use and very nice to look at, because it's actually been designed nicely. So if you go onto this, then you'll find that it's actually very useful. So I'm just going to install everything and come back to you. So here we have the unit itself. I'm going to show you some of the features it has and some modes. This is the on-off button, which can be held down for about 3 seconds to turn it on or off. It also activates the backlight if pressed briefly. On this side we have the data logger on or off. If you hold it down, it also has a point of interest, controls that. On the bottom we have the scroll down button and the enter or back button, along with the light sensor there. And at the bottom we have the USB charging or data transfer port, which is, as you can see, covered with a silicone seal so it doesn't water doesn't get inside the unit. Right, so I'm going to turn it on. I'll show you this message. So if we now scroll down these menus, we have the current time, the distance. We then have the trip time, the trip distance, the maximum speed, the average speed, and I don't know how well you can read that, but basically this is all the information displayed at once, which may be difficult to see when you're riding, but you may want to have a look at it all at once when you've stopped. So we now go down again. That's the altitude, and then back to the beginning. So if we now come out of that, there are 3 modes. Well, firstly I'll go along the top. This indicator shows if you have a GPS signal at the current time. I don't, because I'm inside. This is data logging. It's auto on at the moment. The balloon is the backlight, so it shows when it's on. If it's light enough, I don't know if we'll be able to get it in here. You see it's gone off because the backlight has gone off because the automatic sensor has turned on or off. The current units, which is kilometers, that sort of searchlight type thing, I'm not quite sure how to describe it, is general mode. There are 4 modes: general, travel, and there are a few others, I can't remember them now, and battery life on the far right there. So in sport mode, if we enter that, we have all the modes that we just showed you, and we come out of there. GPS mode. GPS mode, you can see all the log information, so you can turn the log on or off, although it can be automatically on in a different menu. List of logs, so if all the data logs that you've got, it will show you that there. We have a list of point of interest that you've selected with this button. We have the amount of memory you have remaining, so if you're running out of memory, it'll tell you there. And the option to delete points of interest or other things. So now we have no, and slowly deletes all of your information if you wanted to do that. Well, now I've got to wait for this. Anyway, while that's just deleting information, one thing I did notice with this software application they provided, the instructions on it are very good for describing all of the different features of the program that runs on the computer, as well as giving you all the information about Google Earth and the applications you need to run, which means it's very easy to use the unit, and all the information that they give you will completely cover you from installing the drivers to having all the information you need from the unit. One thing I would recommend is, once you've got Google Earth up, I don't have any points of interest to show you yet, I would recommend that you go onto Help and make sure you check for updates online, because if it's out of date, then sometimes data loggers won't work properly and GPS won't be able to display correctly, because they update the application to ensure that everything's working properly. Right, so I think we've nearly finished this now. Right, oh, you see the backlight still on there. That was quite difficult to see in this light. Right then, so now if we exit that menu, GPS information, show you the signal that you currently got. Obviously on the other side I've got very bad signal, but the information about the strength of the signal and information about the satellite. We've also got coordinates. If I had a signal, it would tell me coordinates, which I could then use to look on a map. And we can exit that menu and then exit that whole menu. Right, lastly we have settings, which can give you the time zone. So you see I have noticed it's in the American format there, but not a major problem. The 19th of the 11th 2011, the current time, because obviously it's GPS, it knows what the time is from the satellite, and you can change what time zone you're in there. Change your units from metric to imperial to nautical, so if you wanted knots you'd select that. The interval, I think this is in seconds that it stores the data log, so obviously if you need less fine resolution you can expand it there. This is your log file. This is what I was talking about earlier, general, work, travel or sport, so you could save different ones if you were, say, doing a race versus just generally using it. Auto log, as I was saying earlier, it will automatically turn on the logger once you've got GPS signal when you turn it on. The contrast literally is just how much contrast the display has between 0 to 10. Backlight, you can turn it on. If it's on, it will be automatically selecting whether it's on or off. If it's off, it will be in manual mode and you have to select the power button to turn it on or off. Then we have firmware information. I don't know if there will be an update at any point. We have a behind reminder, so if you're slower than your average speed, it will flash a screen at you. You have reset to 0, so your trip, your odometer, or exit, and then exit that menu, and that's it, I think. I'll now go on the bike and get some information from that so you can see it in Google Earth, and see how well it performs. Okay then, I've now been for a ride around the block. I just showed some information I got from that. Some sort of local time, moving time, that's in minutes there, so 2 minutes. Maximum speed of 28 kilometers an hour. Trip odometer of 0 because I've only done 0.7 of a kilometer. And of course while you're moving you can also go around all these different menus and see. When you're cycling it's usually best to choose 2 that you want to look at, because it's very difficult to see these while you're moving and try and concentrate on cycling. Anyway, I've now loaded these onto the computer via this program. The software that you can see here, once you've installed that, it will come up as this main nav GPS application software. You load that up and it will come up like this. So you download the program from download all the data logging from the device. It will then come up as a complete list of date and time, longitude, latitude, altitude, speed. You can see there probably sort of speed. This is saving a waypoint every second, so it depends on how accurate you need the speed to be. It will only give you the speed every 1 second, or however often you ask it for that in the interval section on the device. So you can then, with that data, if you're on Google Earth, you can save it as a path for Google Earth, or you can view it on Google Maps, and then it will come up. So here, for example, I'm not going to say where it is obviously, but here is my route that I took, and you can see it's pretty much dead on with the accuracy within a few meters, which is very good for GPS, especially for something this small. You can see how from my house went around the block and back. So for accuracy it does very well. So essentially now I've finished the review. So overall opinions probably of the product are very accurate GPS ability. From what I can tell, and using other GPS units, the speed it gives is exactly what they give, so there's no discrepancy there. All the altitude and everything is correct. I've checked online, so essentially this is a very good product from my opinion. All the features are there that you need when cycling, or even sort of running or testing maximum speed of a vehicle or something. Easy to use application, so you can look at your waypoints, you can save waypoints, you can view it on Google Earth or Google Maps. You also get a complete list of statistics which you can get on the device as well, for the sort of average time, memory usage, etc. So those are the plus points. The only negative point I can find at the moment is that there's a bit discrepancy on the box as to how large the battery is, and it is obvious now that it is 4 megabytes of memory, not 32. So I'm very impressed with the product. I think it's a very good purchase, and if anyone's ever looking for a cycle computer without all the hassle of trying to attach magnets and wires, routing wires around with cable ties, and of course the fact that wires often sort of sand off the paint on your frame, this is a nice clean package. Plug it in, charge it up, put it on your bike, turn it on, it'll get signal very quickly, and it just works. So over other products, I would definitely say this is worth the extra money, and it's also very useful in various circumstances, has lots of features, and I really can't fault it past the slight discrepancy on the box. So thanks for watching, and enjoy.